tell my journey of relocating to the continent over 5 years ago. If anybody can see this, can you see me properly? And I want to talk about some things that are very, very important for us as a people. Very important for us. And we have to know who the enemy is using. And when I say the enemy, I'm not talking about white people or things like that. I'm talking about the enemy within our culture, within ourselves. In this journey, man, this is a historic journey. And I'm just waiting for someone to jump on and let me know if they can see me the right way. I don't know if the screen is right. Sometimes you have to have it horizontally. But our people and being in the West and going through that whole process of self-hatred, it has destroyed us as a people. And many of us are looking to come to the continent. Just to be safe, I think I might want to just go that way, just to be on the safe side. Many of us are running away from the U.S. to find a different life, to have a different life, to have a different reality, to get away from the self-hate, to get away from the whole Willie Lynch, psychology of our people, where, you know, it's just an absolute mess. And I I couldn't sit around and talk about the struggle and let that just be my reality. Anybody know my story? It was very rough for me coming up, like many of us, particularly, during the 80s, during the height of the drug epidemic, the crack epidemic. And I saw a lot of death. Death was just wholesale in the community, and it still is. And it's just gotten worse. I mean, you're speaking to someone speaking that I didn't think that I would be 20 years old. And to have made it through all of that and to be here at this point, 30 years later, you know, and just see all the death and all the destruction, all the division, all of the hatred. Like, you can't help people anymore. You cannot help people. That's how we got in the States. It will cost you your life helping people. The same people that you're helping are the same people that are going behind your back, trying to rob you, trying to. And what brought me to this live is because I have, you know, everybody that know there's been some issues that have been going on here, and we have some legal proceedings and some criminal proceedings and things that have been taking place. But this is all personal stuff or personal issues that have been brought to YouTube. And what it has done is it turned the movement off. You know, many people have had to witness us come onto the continent and make a complete fool of ourselves by the way that we were conducting ourselves. I mean, it was just a huge, huge embarrassment, and many, many people were damaged. Many, many people were hurt. In the whole situation, you know, as I sat back, I'm on here. As I sat back, I always maintained my integrity because I was like, I'll never get on that level. I'm not on that level. I know my people, but I'll never get to the level where I'm up here trying to, slander somebody, especially make up things about people, make up straight up lies. And 80 to 90% of what you see on YouTube and what you guys are being fed are lies, man. Just so many lies on so many levels. But that's a part of, the whole gossip, the whole gossip market. Hold on one second. Okay, get it and go. You need to get this. Come on, come on, come on. Because I'm on a live. I'm on a meeting. Yeah, our people have become a force of destruction amongst ourselves, and our communities are utterly devastated and utterly ruined in the West. And if you don't see it, you just don't see it. But many people do see it, and many people are looking for a change, like myself. And we're looking to get out of the West and come to a place where we can have some ownership, come to a place where we can have some culture, some self-respect, some dignity. You understand what I'm saying? We're trying to get away from the West. And Africa, pre-COVID was a beacon of light, and you know, it was a place that it was like Atlanta, how Atlanta was 30, 40 years ago, the Black Mecca, and you had everybody looking to go to Atlanta, to get into different, industries, different, areas of government and things like that, and, to build families and things like that. And, so Africa is that and so much more, but it will not come without its challenges. When I first came over, I never expected that the crowd that I was trying to get away from, I never expected that they would follow me over or follow us over here or already be over here or coming from the UK. Okay, the rabbit hole runs deep. And anybody have any questions, you please ask here. I'm getting up here because I see so much garbage being fed to the community that I have to jump on. Even though I'm like, I'm not into gossip. I can't see how people can just go up there and be up there constantly tearing the community down, not bringing any value to the community, airing the community's dirty laundry. You know, we're not even talking about even more sinister ideas like just coming up, just trying to destroy the next person, just trying to bring them down because you're jealous of them or they're better than you, or you made a mistake in your life and now you want to, everybody got to pay for it, everybody. So things like integrity and accountability, those aren't things that you're going to see around this movement. And you're hearing from somebody that was at the top of the movement, being that I was here many years before the whole YouTube phenomenon, and we have relationships before all of this stuff started that was here that only deteriorated and died because of the popularity and the monetary potential that came in. People that you bring into your life, you can't have many people in your life. You really have to buckle down and get a family. You really have to buckle down and get a family because most people are going to come in and like I said, they'll come in looking to take from you, looking to bring you down, right? Even though you're trying to help them. Like we had the situation with our sister Shakina here, and she lost her life to someone that she was helping out, someone that she was helping out. And it's such a tragic thing. And it's like, damn, what could we do to, safeguard ourselves? What could we do to protect ourselves? Years ago, there's many stories of people that I've have worked with in the past. Being someone that is a mover and a shaker and someone that has business, you always have employees and you always have people and all investors that come into your cipher and work with you. And all of those relationships, most of the time, it those relationships erode because of not because of anything the entrepreneur is doing. It's because of the people that come on board within the organization. you know they are looking to get something out of you, looking to take away. So you got to know givers from takers. And then when they can't get what they want from you, then they're gonna go out and slander your name, try to defame you, and try to bring you down. So, that's the problem, and that's why we see so many. And it's not personal. It happens to each and every one of us. It's not a personal thing. I never take it personal. It's just this devil that we have, and this negative that we have as a people to destroy each other and bring each other down. You know, my children, my children have been brought into the fray, and my children have been attacked. And the sad thing about it is, over here, the first situation that I had where my two oldest children were brought into the fray, it was because of their mother, whom I divorced. Their mother, whom I divorced, and if anybody was around at that time, she went on YouTube with some Americans and some people from the UK and made, false statements about me. I don't take care of my children. At the time, we were going through I was in the process of trying to recover thousands of dollars that she took that was meant for our business. So while she was on YouTube saying I don't take care of my children, she had thousands and thousands of dollars that, you know, uh, that she had. But like I said, this is all personal stuff. But this is how wicked and how dirty the people got here in the Gambia. I'm talking about Juliet Ryan. I always state her name because she's behind all of this. She's the one that actually did the video over my first wife's compound. And I have people today talking about, oh, you did, you don't take care of your children, this and that, you know, and they don't know what was going on. They haven't even done the research and found out that I already showed receipts that I take care of my children back then very well, and I still take care of my children. But this is the type of stuff that's being put out there to you all, like, you know, don't deal with this brother. You know what I mean? Don't deal with it could be any brother. It could be any sister. The same thing is happening everywhere, because of our people. Where you have people like myself, you have people like Brother RJ, you have other people that, that saying, hey, listen, I'm not dealing with our people coming from the West into Africa. So that's how it has gotten. But however, for the people that are, steadfast, you just have to see that this is just a high level of wickedness that is coming from our people. A high level of wickedness, and they don't have any control over their mind or any control over their senses, and they're just, they're just these machines of destruction, these cancerous agents. We have to, in the time, being that in the West at one time, the West was just this beacon of light. And everybody was like, oh, America, if you make it to America, you're going to make it. The American dream, the melting pot. America has not been that for Black people. It has not been that for Black people. Don't be fooled. It has been that for every other nationality of people that have came from their homelands into America and benefited from the great America the Great. We don't even have to go into the nationalities, but we know the Jewish people, number one, they control everything in the media. The Italians, the Irish, the Jews. Well, I said the Jews already. Even the Hispanics and the Mexicans, the Indians. All right. They have more of an American dream, the fulfillment of the American dream in America than the Black people who were brought there to build that country. And this is the thing, man. And when the YouTube right now is a place where you can go get information and you get knowledge. Ignorance is not an excuse in this day and time. You know, you have there's many times where our us we as a people we try to rise up, but we were brought down by the mobs of white people. We know Rosewood, we know Tulsa, we know the race riots that have taken place, and black wealth, black prosperity, black dignity was physically attacked. We're not even going to mention the centuries of slavery, servitude, slavery, where they had us in chains. Okay, and there is a psychological impact from all of that takes place with the people that brings us to a point in it where we're uncomfortable with the single household. Where we're comfortable with having a single household. Many sisters say, they'll say, hey, I didn't set out to be a single mom, right? It shouldn't be like that. But if you don't have your own culture, your own way of life, and you're in a system that really don't care about you, and they just want to use you up, expect to be in these situations where there's no ownership, there's no pride. If you're not building within your community, and you're not building businesses, schools, and hospitals and banks, you have nothing to be proud of. When everything belongs to somebody else, you don't know your place in society. And then what they do is they give you materialism. They give you a job. Uh, they give you the title of, okay, in this society, you're above your man, right? All of these things, man, all of these things that contribute to the definite destruction of the black communities in America. As you travel throughout the world, you will see that, there's places where you can go that do not have the level of indoctrination that we have, or the level of self-hate that we have in America. People that you help will try to bring you down on Game for Life. Yep. As we already know, we are our own worst enemy. We see our whole entertainment industry is based around sex, drugs, mayhem. Sex, drugs, and mayhem. Okay. My grandparents before me, my grandparent and grandparents, they've already saw a time, and they already said, oh my God, everything's going to hell in a handbasket. These So they already seen that, just like we see that it's going to be very, very difficult for our people. I mean, we're being wiped out, and we don't even see it. We're being erased over there, and we don't even see it. However, black people, we are global. We are everywhere. If you see yourself in these little boxes of nationalism, then you can't go somewhere else and adapt, because you're so used to being American. You're used to all the commercial things, all the glitz and all the glitter. Everything that glitter is not gold. We don't have any ownership. We don't own any land. We don't own our homes. We don't own businesses. Yet we are the largest consumer. We are the largest consumer. However, the things that bind us in that system, as far as, our people, our emotional IQ, who we are as a people, is very dangerous, man. And, you'll have people out there, they're gonna say all types of things about you, try to slander your name, try to destroy your relationships. And, these are the type of, the things that you have to deal with. You have to deal with. And it's all from people that, you try to help. It might be a wife, it might be a husband, a brother, a cousin, you know, if you got to watch out for a husband and a wife and a son and a daughter and a brother and a cousin, we can't win in this world, because the next family got the same drama going on. They don't give a damn about their family. They damn sure not going to give a damn about you. And that's America. And that's the reality of America. So we come to Africa. We go somewhere else where within the culture, they have the foundational values. And it's not a gun culture. It's not a drug culture. And the whole music industry is not being pushed, towards, guns and drugs and mayhem. Like what's the Tom McDonald? Him and Ben Shapiro made the song. He was like, he's not gonna turn your daughters and your son into thugs and your daughters into hoes. We're the music industry. The reason why I got on, because there are people that refuse to have self-respect, and they're devils. They're straight up demons. They're being controlled because of their ego. The ego is crazy, so they're controlled by these demons, and they feel like, oh, and you have these narcissists that want to make everybody like, oh, I'm the one, I'm the victim, but I'm the one, I'm the savior, I'm the one that's here. If it wasn't for me, I'm here to help everybody. I'm here to expose all of these things. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. We're seeing a high level of wickedness and embellishment in the U.S. And as I said, it's over here. But only if you get in. If you, I think the best thing for people to do when you come over, avoid other people from the West. Just try to isolate yourself. And if you're not part of an economic community, and you have people that have like mind with you, just assimilate in their culture, that's going to be less of a brunt on this society, because we've already seen with the grouping of our people, it's just been devastating. It's been devastating for us. Over money, over YouTube fame, over clout, very, very, uh, very, very weak-mindedness. So my family, the people that you see launching these attacks, most of the time they don't have a family. It's usually them by themselves. They don't have a family, you know, they don't have a nurturing relationship. They don't have a relationship where there's, a man in the equation, or, or things, it's just these individuals, these single individuals that that are out there to just call chaos and mayhem, cause chaos and mayhem. And I'm sitting back, as I'm just sitting back and, just reflecting on, situations that we have here that's in the court process. However, from day one, no one respected the the processes that we put in place to make sure that we can show that we can uh, govern our own community and handle our own matters. So early on, when we start, problems started to arrive, you know, there was things that people had stepped forward in integrity to try to, mediate. And throughout the whole process, it was treated with a high level of contempt. And this is from people that have so-called power, like YouTubers, people that had power that was like, oh, pretty much Kwesi is, he has a better plan. He has a better business model than mine. So he's going to be competition for me. So let me try to bring him down, right? Because that's all it was. Because we seen all of this stuff unfold. My whole plan, or my idea, the model was that we buy land. It was all about land. That we buy land as a group. Okay. But the person I was working with, her idea was, no, let me sell land to people so I can make money for me, myself, my family, and build my house. It wasn't a plan for the community. It was a plan for an individual and what they were doing. It wasn't a community plan. As a result, hundreds and hundreds of people got into bad land deals. Hundreds of people. All right. Our community, we had over 800 people that signed up to be a part of our community. Okay, because they saw something that was right. They saw a plan. They heard words that resonated with them. All right. If you look out there and see what people are talking about, they're not sincere about what they're saying. They're just telling you what they want to hear, and then the next half of the conversation is about how you can help donate to them and what they're doing, or you can buy some land from them, or do something with them. They'll get you all hot and bothered, and then leave you hanging. And many hundreds and hundreds of people got left hanging with the land. We could have already have built, uh, a development, because we want to build a development. And then, you got to understand, when you're buying land, you have to think about the house that's going to be to the left, the right, and the front and the back of you. All right. If you come and just buying land, that means you're not going to have developed roads. It's going to be dirt roads kicking up a lot of dust, or with steep inclines. Sometimes, like, it's going to be unlevel. It's not something that we're used to. It takes time to get used to being in a car that's going on unlevel ground. That's something that's going to stand out to you when you come over. However they are developing, but you don't want to buy a house where there's not going to be any street lines. The roads won't be developed. The property, to your left, so it might be a vacant lot. And if you have a vacant lot, somebody might start dumping trash on it. The house to the right of you, the owner only had enough money to get it partially built. They have a 5-year, 10-year plan to build their whole house. Okay. So if you can afford to build yours, while yours built, to the left you have an empty lot. To the right you have a house that's 10% built. Behind you have a house that's 25% built. Over years, it's not like everything's going to be done in 12 months. So when you have abandoned properties, you have places where criminal element could germinate. Okay, if the properties around you are vacant, that means you don't have a neighbor next door that can look out for your house. All right. Who's talking like that when you're on YouTube looking in the Gambia? Who's talking like that? And it just makes sense, because we've already been through it in the U.S. To buy a house in a place that's, you're just going to buy land and build a house. You have to have a plan for that. If you're somebody that's going to do agriculture and you want to be out somewhere where you have land and you have a house and you have your acres and you have your chickens and your cows and whatever, that's the idea. But if you're a person that's coming and you want to build a house and you want to do it in close to civilization, then you have to consider, the closer to civilization you are, that means the more people that's going to be moving in and around your environment, wherever you are. So if you're there and you brought some land somewhere and you're the only one that have the house that's built around there, and the other community is partially built and things like that, that means that your house is vulnerable to get broken into. So building communities is ideal. However, there's a lot of people out there that's, it's a huge force that's against it. It can definitely happen, but there's a huge force that's against, things happening that's going to benefit us. Some people, when they make mistakes, they want to bring everybody down. So that's what you have to be aware. You have to look out for, man. And people just, they just dirty, man, dirty, nasty people, man. And you know, it's so sickening. I have people from 10 years ago that still have problems after they contacted me and said, hey, I appreciate you, da 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 da. And then there's a lot of mental disorder in our community, man. It's a very sick thing, man, that have to be addressed. And for me, I'm like, yo, I just have to distance myself, man, from these sick weirdos. They are like really, really just very dangerous. And what we've seen here, as far as the deaths, and I talked about the deaths that we've seen here. What we've seen here is only a result of the foundation that we laid, okay, and that we lay, and it's an energy that we bring with us. So you have to be very conscious. You have to be very aware. You have to watch out for people that's out there, spreading gossip, spreading lies, and you know, yeah, you just have to really know how to choose the right people. A lot of people got brought down very easily by negative, very easily. So you're gonna have some strength. You're gonna have some strength, definitely, to make it through, man, and make it forward. This is Mass Kwesi, Go Hard Africa. I didn't want to stay up here too long, man. I just wanted to get up here and just, put out there a jewel for those who are out there listening, that that are still looking, man, that are still looking to escape. If you had to go off of what you're hearing and what you're seeing, you know, it's a huge force trying to turn you off from coming and getting away from. There's a lot of stuff going on in the U.S. A lot of stuff. There was just an earthquake in Taiwan. There was an earthquake in New York City. We have a lot of natural disasters. Of course, we already have the crime. The crime rate, is increasing. These gun laws are crazy. They're allowing, people without any gun training to receive firearms and to carry firearms without permits in some of the worst states in the country. It's crazy. It's crazy. We really have to be aware. We really have to be conscious. We really have to, people that are bringing negative to the platform, we really just have to shut them out. Yeah, not very discouraged about moving to. Okay, all right. Yeah, so many of us, like for the brothers, believe it or not, a lot of sisters watch my channel. That's most of my demographic, and it's a great place for our people, especially if you have children. You want to come here if you have children, for your children, so that they can have experience what you experienced as a child. I don't know if those who are around my age, the 50, when I was 10 years old, the girls used to sit outside, play double dutch. We used to play hide and seek, hang out, talk, laugh, and just enjoy ourselves. We ain't have to worry about guns. We ain't have to worry about drive-by shootings. We didn't have to worry about video gaming all day. That's a big one. The social media has just really disconnected us, man, from our social existence. Here they have more of a social existence than we have in the States from years of being pacified, years of pacification and put to sleep while, while we're being harvested, while we're being harvested. And, for the brothers, for the sisters, it's great to come. For the brothers, it's great to come over. But like I said, I think the best uh, idea or method would be to come and adopt a family. You adopt a family. There's things that you would have to know about the culture here from people that you can trust, and that can help you understand the culture so that we won't come and dig a hole for ourselves. Okay, there's certain things that you want to do, and how you want to operate when you come over, especially if you have money and you're building a house and things like that. Thank you for the artwork. I have plenty artwork, man. Beautiful African artwork. I try to keep them in the video in the background just to give you guys some colors and things like that. But look at that. That's beautiful. Oh yeah, I can definitely link you in with a family. Like, that was my whole thing, to come over. Yep, you can hit me up at kwesiboyd at yahoo.com. kwesiboyd at yahoo.com. If you look through some of my description, my email is there. But I do want to, speak to you, you brothers and you sisters, man, that's out there worst looking, that's seeing the worst of our people. It's like we there's an energy out there, and it's going to be the majority of the energy. So I'm speaking to the indigo children. I'm speaking to the ones that are at a high vibratory rate. Most of our people are crabs in the barrel, and you know they don't have any respect for culture. We should not want to go into any society and bring our habits from the U.S. into that society. We shouldn't want anybody to see us like that. It's like a wife and you have a family, and then the husband he gets drunk, right? And you don't want the children to see him drunk, so you try to hide it, but until it becomes excessive, something like. But like I said, the way that's a total disrespect for a whole culture that we come into their backyard and conduct ourselves in the way that we do. You think that's going to bring more respect from the culture, more admiration, especially if it's an economy that we're saying, hey, there's a lot of gray area. They don't have a lot of regulations in a lot of different areas. So if we're already in this disarray, then they're like, okay, I'm gonna exploit these people because they don't even care about themselves. That's what they do in the community, selling the alcohol, selling all the bad food, selling all the material stuff, that they would never wear, but they sell it to our sellers in our community, sell us pork and things like that, and they don't eat the pork, you know. It's just, like no one has respect for the black community. Presidents of the United States have moved tons and tons and tons throughout our communities to destroy us to fund their own, political agendas. We've already known that. We've had our black leaders selling us out by the dozen, by the hundreds. Most of our people, if they get a chance to sell you out for some money, you already know what you know what that's going to be. That's how that's going to turn out. That's going to turn out into a check for that person. The allure to do wrong is greater to do right. So we have to implement new systems. We have to have new systems, and we have to focus on the youth because you know we when we come into the culture, if you can come in and you can assimilate into the culture and be happy, you have to see the cup as being halfway full as opposed to halfway empty. a lot of people might come over and say, hey, it's not developed over there. The roads, you know, the buildings aren't all up to par. They don't have a lot of modern conveniences, and that'll turn them off. While another person will come and say, hey, they don't have all of this stuff, so that I'm going to produce it. They don't have a Marriott, I'm gonna be Marriott. They don't have a Hilton, I'm gonna be Hilton. They don't have a Home Depot, I'm gonna be a Home Depot. They don't have Walmart, I'm gonna be Walmart. They don't have hospital, I'm gonna have a hospital in my name. I'm gonna own a hospital. They don't have banks everywhere, I'm gonna be the bank. I'm gonna be a food supplier, I'm gonna be Kellogg, I'm gonna be General Mills. So that's the opportunity that's here for the ones who were taken away. We were taken away from our continent and brought to America and went through some of the worst atrocities that anyone in history has been through as far as being enslaved, being stripped of our whole culture. We're the only people. My power just went out, so it's going to be a dark one until I close this one out. But we're the only people that don't have a cultural identity. I read in Dr. Chancellor William book, Destruction of the Black Civilization. He talks about without without a man cannot reach a point of full racial worth and identity without having a cultural. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. I forgot it. I didn't know it word for word. But basically, you cannot reach full manhood without having cultural identity. You cannot reach full manhood without having a cultural identity. And the identity that they gave us, your enemy is not going to give you an identity that's going to benefit you. Yes, we don't have a culture. Our culture was taken away from us. I'm going down to some light. Our culture was taken away from us and we were given the worst. Man, we're so finished as a culture. We have a culture of death. So that's what's been fed to us and shoved down our throat. Ah, man. It's a beautiful evening, man, here in the Gambia, West Africa. Beautiful, beautiful evening. Don't say hip hop. You know, everything that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan said, or it was said that the white man heaven is the black man hell. So in America, that's exactly what we're catching. And we have some remnants, man. It's just a culture that's dying out, man. This culture of hate, so, just be aware of, who you see as your leader. And, make plans to come over to Africa, to come over to visit, and like I said, hook up with a family and, and try to integrate like that, because if we can't. The only ones amongst our people that should come together are those that are, building, businesses. Just the grouping together, all the kumbaya, none of that's going to work, because it turns into drama. It turns into, you have agents that just try to, they'll, when I first came over here, you know, it was already people that were causing division. That was already being practiced already. Don't talk to this person. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know, that was already being implemented amongst people that was supposed to be, Pan-Africanists. And then we had all the drama that followed. So in any case, Surprise Gambia with people and environment and all the opportunities. I was surprised. Yeah, Gambia, and this is the smallest country, but there's so much building that's taking place here. So much. We can't build in the West. We can't build there. We can't have any ownership there. It's just too expensive. They already said, the average single household need $96,000 to be happy. A family of two more or more need $250,000 to be happy. So they know the numbers. They know the statistics, and then we see other people coming up around us. I saw a bunch of Jewish kids. They, running through one of the roughest neighborhoods in New Haven because it's barren. It's a ghost town because we've killed ourselves off. Slumification, gentrification, all of that stuff is already been in effect. People have been teaching about this since the 60s, in the 50s, in the 60s and the 70s when we really had nationalistic movements. We're talking about the plan, and then everything has happened, and everything is going according to plan, and then you get the short end of the stick. You're gonna get the short end of the stick, and we see it. Our children dying in the streets, our men being taken away. Our families are just, there's no families. It's just single moms. It's not something that is a natural thing. So, however, we can't change that. We have to get away from it. It's time we have to exodus. We have to do an exodus. You cannot live under your oppressor and expect to. We're finished. It's done. It's a done deal. We're at the end now. It's a done deal. So begin your new beginnings, and watch out for those who want to drag us down as a people. Mass Kwesi, go hard Africa. Until next video, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.